What's up YouTube? It's your boy 4Core8. Here I am doing a video that has actually been a long time coming about robot vacuums. Stay tuned. So let me start with this. I made this video for a couple of reasons. Number one, it's an interest of mine and I have been focusing on it a lot lately. There's been a lot of reasons for that. One, I find myself working out of the home now and I don't have time to vacuum nearly as much or as often as I should, and I'm starting to get those little dust things around my house. I have mostly hardwood floor with area rugs, except for up here I have some carpet. So the thing is that I've been looking for a vacuum for downstairs on the hardwood, not up here, because up here there's not really a hallway or anything like that. It's just a bunch of rooms connected. It's a long story. So I was looking for something that is cost effective. I am not looking for the top of the line. I am not looking to review the top of the line. And the reason why I'm doing that is I'm looking for something that will be cost effective, and hopefully you guys out there who are fellow gamers like me, maybe single parents, things like that, who don't have a lot of money to spend on this, can have a little bit of an assistant to help out with that. Full disclosure, I've actually grown up, not really grown up, but when I was a little bit older, right around leaving the house, my mom actually bought a Roomba. It's a 600 series. You can actually still buy them. They're actually still very popular and affordable. So that's what kind of threw me into this, is that robot was great for helping around the house. I personally didn't have to vacuum as much. So it was one of those things that was really nice and helpful to have. I wanted something similar for my house, but I didn't want to spend the $900 or $1,000 that's out there for those Samsung and honestly that top-end Roombas, the top-end Neato vacuums. So that's what it came down to. I'm going to put this out there right now. There is no way and there is no robot vacuum out there right now, no matter how much money you spend, that will truly replace you going around with a vacuum. It'll stop you from doing it as often, but in my searching and my discoveries, spoiler alert, there's no vacuum out there that will do that. That's just from my experience of using these vacuums before to the ones that I have with me today. So let's get into it. So cost, I have a vacuum right here, this guy right here, which is around $200. It is an iLife vacuum. It is the gold one. There's a couple different ones, but the cool thing about this gold one, sorry for all the dirt here, but kind of illustrates that this one has two little guys that spin like this, and they spin together, and then they sweep everything into this small hole. So as you can see, it's filthy on the bottom, and that's great. And as you can see, there's little dirt marks here, and then there's this thing, and I'll get to that in a second. But this is the one that's $200, and you recognize it. It's a little circle. It's a robot. Everyone can see what it is, right? So I have something ranging from $200 right here, which you can get on Amazon. Then you can hop into this guy right here, which is called the Neato. This is a D80 series, okay? So D85, some of the places have a D83. It's relatively the same vacuum. There you go, right here. So I'll be diving into that. But I do not have with me, which is the Roomba that I was comparing everything to, which is around the 600, 700 series of a Roomba. They're very similar and there's not too much differences. So let me start with this. I have so much experience with Roomba that I'm just going to tell you right now. Roomba is a fantastic vacuum, and I'll tell you why near the end when I talk about the differences between these two. So what I'm going to do is I'm not actually going to tell you which one is the best one. And the reason why is because they are drastically different. I went into this process thinking all of them are just vacuums and some of them work better than the others. That's not the case. And so number one, I'm going to tell you what each of these vacuums are and what you can find out of them. Number two, I'm also going to tell you which one worked for me the best in my hardwood floor to carpet situation. And then number three, I'm going to tell you guys basically what I think you should do if you're looking to spend some money. It's up to you. So let's go with number one. Let's talk about the differences. Again, I am not looking to spend a lot of money. So this guy right here is the top of my budget, okay? This guy is about $500. He is on sale quite a bit, around $400. Do not spend $500 for a Neato D80 series, more than $400. You will find it on sale, okay? So let's talk about what makes this guy so special. This guy, as you can see, is not a circle shape. It's like a D shape, okay? The reason why it's so cool is that, like, look how huge this brush is. It's like actually a real vacuum, right? So you guys saw the iLife one, where the iLife sucks up stuff, is right here in that tiny little hole. And that is very similar to Roomba, okay? Roomba has a littler hole in the middle. So here's another thing, in case you didn't notice by the camera shake. This thing is a freaking beast. It's very, very heavy. It actually has the most suction power of any of the vacuums that I have ever tested. And it actually really is, it's a really strong vacuum. So I'm gonna actually set that one down here for a second. Put it sideways. There we go. Let's talk about the affordable one that started my search and started getting this all going. This little iLife. It's very lightweight. There's nothing really to it, okay? If you notice, there's no big long brush here. Roombas have a big long brush and a cage right here. And that's what makes Roomba so good, is that it actually has two brushes that spin and suck in the dirt. And so Roombas only have one of these, and that's for edging. It's actually on the outside of the robot, which is over here. This guy, all he's going to do is spin in together. You can kind of see that one spinning too. There you go. They spin together and push dirt into this little hole. There is not a lot of suction in this, like, at all, my friends. Like, there's not much to this. This is a sweeper. I call this more of a sweeper. So it has a sensor in the front where you bump and it won't run into the wall. The other thing I noticed is that what's cool about this guy is that this huge sensor bar in front will make it so it won't, like, go under couches or things like that, because it thinks it's a wall, which is good and bad, because, you know, couches is where you get the most dirt. You kind of want to get underneath there to get all the allergens and all the dust and everything out of there. But it's also good if you have a son like mine who hides things under the couch, and then this thing just gets stuck way deep under the couch, and then you got to move the couch anyway, and you just, while you're under there, you just vacuum with a regular vacuum. Now, what's a good feature about this iLife, the reason why I got this guy as opposed to the other, is because it comes with this. This is a removable cloth Swiffer style thing, okay? As you can see, mine is filthy, and that's a good thing. So it comes with two of them, which I think is great for the $200 price point. It comes with two of these guys, and you just throw them in the laundry. I kept mine dirty to show you guys. This is no joke. This is like after 2 cleanings right here, and it still could go for another. And as you can see, this part actually pops off altogether. So that if you don't want to use this, or you don't want to have it, you just want to have it do the normal sweeping, take it off. It's good, it's ready to go. And then you don't have to worry about this like black thing hanging down at the end. It just hangs out. It's just here. There you go, okay? So, very simple. And it actually just pops on. Boom, just like that. Lay this across. Woo-hoo. Done. So what I thought when I bought this vacuum was, I was like, man, I don't see any brushes. I'm curious about how this works. It doesn't have a lot of suction. So it does focus on like sweeping up the floor. And this rubber thing, it actually does pick up like pennies and quarters and things like that, but not on the first try every single time. So it has edge sensors, so it won't fall off the stairs. Most robots do that already. If you don't have a robot that does that, that's horrible. As you can see, there's not very much control here, and that's because it's all done on a little tiny remote. So you can actually schedule it for once a day. You can actually make this guy go do it, and that remote will tell it what to do. The problem is the remote has to be pointing at this in order for this to receive the signal. So if you set it up to vacuum every morning at 6 a.m. when you're still sleeping, you have to leave the remote pointed at it, which I found to be kind of like counterproductive. So open it up here. This is the dustbin. It doesn't look like normal vacuums with a dustbin, but it does just pop out here, and I'm not kidding you, like, look at all that dirt. You can't really see it that well. It picks up stuff. Like, it does a great job, and that's just mostly from, like, the kitchen area of my house. So, it does a good job of sweeping. So, it also comes with a little water dispenser, so that you can actually have it so that it'll squirt out water out of this hole right here instead, and then this can actually be a wet mop. The problem that I found with that is that it doesn't know when it's hopping up on an area rug, and then your area rugs are sopping wet and you can't understand why. There you go. So that's about this guy. That's what you need to know about the iLife. Not too much there. It's a sweeper, not a vacuum cleaner, okay? That's something you need to watch out for as you're doing your own shopping. The Neato. This is a vacuum cleaner. and a poor one at that. Let me tell you about it. Okay, so number one, I don't hate this vacuum. I'm actually critical of it a little bit more, I think, because I've had a Roomba for so long and I find them so well. So Roombas get a lot of critical flack because they bounce, right? They go like this all over the room and it's like, are you really cleaning everywhere? And in truth, most Roombas, even the newer ones, struggle to find every single spot in the room. What Roomba does do well is that it recognizes dirt on the ground and will actually vacuum that spot a lot. All Roombas do that all the way back to the 600 series. Do not go back farther than that. Get a Roomba 600 series, 700, 800, 900. Don't go further back than 600. Roombas pick up a lot of stuff. Roombas are also faster than both of these robots. So when you plug a Roomba in, it goes woo, 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 woo. It's really fast. And it also has sensors like the iLife to not fall off things and punch things, and it will slow down before it hits a wall, okay? This little guy, this little thing right here, is an eye. And so what it supposedly does is it supposedly maps out your house. As you can see, the wheels right here are huge. This is huge. This whole thing is huge. The dustbin is, less than huge. So the thing that's cool about him, though, is that this brush is pretty much the size of a standard vacuum. And that's what Neato is going for. Also, they come with two brushes. This one right here is for the pet one, the pet and kid as they call it, where you actually will be able to pull out like this stuff, like the hairs and stuff, really, really easily. And it actually just pops here from the bottom and opens up. This little guy pops off, and that's your edger right there. And it literally is a magnet. It's really nice, okay? So this guy right here is a freaking juggernaut. So when it's driving, it goes boom, and then boom, and then boom, and then boom. And it just gets in the way of everything, and it punches, and it gets itself stuck because, in case you didn't notice, it doesn't have the sensors all the way around that the Roomba has, or even the iLife has, right? It doesn't have the back sensor to know what's back here. It doesn't know where this is. It has no idea. So what it focuses on is it focuses so heavily on this little camera mapping things that I have gotten this thing stuck under so many freaking like desks, like not desk chairs, but man, I can't remember the word. You don't hate it when you forget the word? Dining room chairs. That's the word. Got this stuck under so many dining room chairs, right? Because number one, the size of it makes it so it gets stuck under mine specifically very, very well. And the only way they can get underneath is from the back of the chair. So it's going boom, boom, boom. And it's not nice about hitting it because it doesn't have a proximity sensor. It has the clicking, just like all of them do, where they bump into something and they recognize it, but it doesn't have a proximity sensor. So it's mean, it's aggressive, it bumps into things. Now here's the thing. This is the best edging robot I have ever used in a vacuum. Because of its shape, it actually gets into corners like this and then circles around the corner. And when it circles, there's a little brush to make sure it gets everything possible. So that being said, this guy has great corner fix. And so he was the most successful in that area. He's also the most in power. However, power in terms of suction is really important, but if this thing doesn't pick it up, what's the point, okay? So here's the thing. This is what I found out, all right? And I'm gonna open this guy up real quick. So took off the little brush on the sides, pop this, just with your two fingers, and there's your brush. Herein lies the problem. By the way, really easy to clean a brush, right? Undid that right in front of you guys, like barely paying attention. That is the hole that everything is expected to go into. Everything. So, the problem with this is that things get stuck and they don't always go in. So, the brush is spinning over here, but really your only area of like truly getting everything is about right here. So Roombas have that spinning thing over here that spins into the hole. That's about it. My biggest criticism of Roomba is that it has this whole section over here that basically doesn't get in. Neato is very similar. This thing doesn't pick up quarters. It doesn't pick up like change, which I guess is nice, right? But this thing with no suction does, because of the shape and because it just slides in there and takes care of it. This doesn't do it because the brush goes over it. So the fault in this guy, sadly, is the fact that his brush is so big, but this needs to be like this big to get everything that you need in there, okay? So they don't do that for a couple of reasons. Basically, you need to have it a certain size for the certain suction, but it gives the illusion that it's sucking up more than what it is. So, that being said, gotta make sure I put this back on the right way. See that? Uh-oh. And here I go again. Complicated. Boom. Done. Not too long, and you're back to it. So, if hair does get stuck in here, or you need to like get it cleaned out real quick, it doesn't take too long. It's really not so bad. So, I'm a little critical of him. And the reason why I'm so critical of him is because of how big he is and how expensive he is, okay? If you're gonna spend this amount of money, like, this guy's a great option if you have carpet all over your house. But because I don't, this, which advertises to be an all-floor robot, is just not the best thing. I also have more of a cluttered house, which brings me to putting this down and going to number 2, okay? These robots will not replace everything that you do, like I said. However, what they will do is help you vacuum less. What I found myself doing is cleaning up for my robot to do vacuuming. Yeah. So I'm like picking things up and I'm moving things around. I'm putting all my son's toys away when I was looking for the vacuum to like get around that stuff and still clean the floor. Not gonna happen. So this guy does a very good job of that because he's like, oh, I'll just bump into it. Bump, 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 okay? So he's bumping all over the place like a Roomba. The cool thing about this guy is that the thing that he does do is like he vacuums, turns, comes back. Vacuums, turns, comes back. It's awesome. It's awesome at mapping. That's where that guy shines. So if you have a more open house, I actually greatly recommend the D85. If you have a house like mine, which is not an open concept and it's more like stuck into rooms, I highly suggest getting a Roomba around the 600 series or the 700 series. So in conclusion, if you're out there looking for something that is a good gift for someone, you know, going around this level, e-robotics or whatever makes something like this that's a little bit better with an actual brush. It's about $80 more, about a little less than $300. I suggest that one, okay? This guy right here, if you just need something to go around like your workshop and sweep stuff up, this is actually a really good one. There's no brushes, like actual rotating brushes to clean, and these guys are incredibly durable. I've had this in my house for a month, and I find that I run this more than the Neato. So it's a little weird, but this guy, sadly, doesn't do the suctioning that I want it to, doesn't truly get the clean that I want. It's more of a sweeper. So, if you have a more open space, you got a lot of like sawdust or things like that, this guy actually works really well. And the main reason why is because this thing has a huge dustbin that just for the size of this guy. Go with that. So in conclusion, I really just want to say that there's a lot of different robots out there. I hope this video just shone some light on the things that you should be thinking about rather than making a true recommendation. I personally will be going out and actually getting a Roomba. I'm going to get around the 800 series, which is a little bit more pricey. However, the main reason why I'm getting that is because of the scheduler, right? So the schedule is really much easier to use on that one. So I'm going with that. But I gotta wait a little bit and save some money to do so, or get a good Black Friday deal, or something like that. However, if you're just looking for something, to get started, going with this level is the best thing to do, okay? It is something to get started and go around your house. You can actually get this robot itself. I saw it for as low as $120 on Amazon. Just wait for the right one, okay? And if you're looking for something that's just a sweeper, but you can get one right here, just goes across. All good stuff. So that being said, I hope that this was a little bit informative. It is not meant to be a review, but personally, I would go with a Roomba. It cleans up much better. However, if you're looking for something that is good edging wise and you have a more open concept, maybe more carpet, go with a Neato. If you have something that you just want to be a sweeper and you're worried about like things getting caught up in the brushes, and go with something like the iLife, which is more of a sweeper. So, that being said, I hope you have a great rest of your day and keep it locked on Project Forge for more videos. Have a great day.